All right, everyone. Welcome back to Radio on After Dark. This is Derailed Conversations, episode number 2. Welcome, everyone. We got a few things to talk about. I'm not sure how long this podcast is going to go for, but definitely excited to talk about things. And give me a few minutes here. I need to tweet out that we are live, so give me a hot minute. Let's see here. Do this and because it's a lot of things. It's definitely one thing I want to talk about, definitely. And can't wait to discuss it. So let me quickly send out a tweet here. Okay, go to After Dark. How is everyone doing? Hope you guys are doing great. There's definitely been one model that I've been living off of these last couple of days is, there's one phrase that I always keep talking about because definitely within not only in the Phantom Menace, but just other channels in general. And that is, our future entertainment is in the past. So I've been watching a lot of Beast Wars lately. I put up my first Beast War kind of review up. The second one's probably going to come out later this week, but it's definitely something I'm passionate about. I'm going to start. And the other one, I'm probably going to do 2 shows at a time, but the other one I want to do is Thundercats. Because why not? The 90s Thundercats, none of the Cal Art BS Thundercats that came out. Yeah, that crap sucks, to say the least. So, yeah. All right. Let's go ahead and tweet this out. Okay, I think we are good to go. All right. Let me go ahead and close that out. Okie dokie. And I also want to shoot out another YouTuber. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about today is manga. So I want to give a shout out to Lethal Lightning. Please follow Lethal Lightning over there. He's got a great YouTube channel going over there. And he actually brought attention to me when I was watching his video about like the top 20 adult graphic novels. So I was looking at this article and it's like, yeah, this pretty much proves the point. So if you guys see me in any other like YouTube channels, I'm definitely a chatter when it comes to YouTube streams. You guys will typically see me in the chat rooms, but even on Twitter too. You guys will see me say one thing. It's always better with manga. Oh, I'm just going to read manga. But it's like there's so many good stories, so many just good themes and plots and characters when it comes to manga. And there's a wide variety of things. So it doesn't surprise me that when it comes to graphic novels, mangas are just fucking killing it. I mean, can't deny the facts that manga is just killing it right now. So this article here from IZV2, April 2021, NBD Bookscan, top 20 adult graphic novels. So literally every book in the top 20 was a volume of manga, with the latest volume of My Hero Academia, volume 27, leading the parade. This month's list wasn't a one-hit wonder, though. In fact, there were only 3 volumes of My Hero Academia in the top 20. And volume 1, which is reliably charted every month, was nowhere to be seen. Instead, the top series in April was Demon Slayer, which I'm going to buy. Next month on Barnes & Noble, they're going to be coming out with the entire manga box collection of Demon Slayer. I'm getting into that. I want to be an expert on this, so I definitely am going to grab it. So yeah, definitely a shout out to that. Okay, instead of top series, it was Demon Slayer with 9 volumes in the top 20. That's crazy. You know it's a good story when you have what was it, 9 volumes in the top 20. That is absolutely ridiculous, to say the least. And obviously, the anime film Demon Slayer opened in the US on April 23rd and topped the box office on its second week of release, after coming to close second the week before. Literally wins the weekend. That's great. Shortly before the movie opened, Funimation released 3 Demon Slayer anime specials that had previously only been available in Japanese broadcasts. So one thing I will say, something I've been noticing, obviously we keep saying the book is better, and it's like, I want to see these stories come to life on the screen, because it's color, you got motion, you got animation, you got special effects, but it's like these adaptations are going nuts. You know, we see what's going on with the Cowboy Bebop live action adaptation of a manga, but it's like, to be honest, I don't want that anymore. It's like, back in the day, yeah, I would want to see something like that, but the way they're going it's basically the Netflix interpretation. What happened to actually keeping the integrity of the original story true when it comes to this type of entertainment? I just don't understand why Netflix wants to bring this particular story to modern age. And that's something we've been seeing across Hollywood. You know, they always want to readapt this story and try to literally fist it into a shape, into modern day era of entertainment, but it just doesn't work. You know, we get wokeism, we get this policies and politics shoved into our face because that's the narrative right now. And it's like, it's killing these wonderful stories. So it's like, this is why I always advocate for manga, because, you know, it's not a lot of censorship, not a lot of political BS that's trying to be fisted down your throat when it comes to this. It's just better. It's just better. Demon Slayer wasn't the only hot property, though. 3 volumes of Jujutsu Kaisen, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, and 2 volumes of Chainsaw Man also made it to the chart. I've been seeing a lot of things about Chainsaw Man just recently. That's probably what I'm going to start reading. Just recently, I put my collection of manga together on one of my shelves, and it's like, my collection is bare. I thought I had a lot more than I had, but I need to step up my game, because I really want to start diving into good stories. You know, I want to promote escapism. That's what, you know, this whole channel of After Dark is geared towards. You know, not just focusing on how escapism is being destroyed. There's plenty of channels out there that are frontline fighters when it comes to fighting the good fight, when it comes to our escapism getting, you know, utterly destroyed in the entertainment business. And there's great channels out there that are great voices for that. And I want to focus on the escapism that we can focus on today. So definitely manga is where it's at, I think. Sometimes even the anime adaptation of manga, sometimes they can leave things out. Sometimes they can, you know, we can see small censorships from the manga to the anime. And let's be real, it's not as gory. I just recently started reading the manga adaptation of the Anita. Not Anita, it's Alita Battle Angel. I grabbed the first copy, started reading it, and man, the first few pages, it was super gory. It was wonderful, because that's the type of stuff that I want to see. So it's like, I am heavily addicted to reading this manga. I'm probably going to finish in the next couple days. And it's like, you can get that goriness, you can get the sexiness of a character, both male and female, in an animation or live adaptation of the story, because of all the censorship that's going on, of all the political biases that goes into trying to shape these stories into modern day culture. And that's why I always advocate to go manga. and just to read it, because you're going to get those wonderful stories. You're going to get that gore. You're going to get those things that you won't necessarily see on television. And the first volumes of Attack on Titan, Spy and Family, and Tokyo Ghoul also made the chart. So considerable numbers of readers are still reaching back to older series. Which, again, that kind of goes back, that in itself, that statement. So considerable numbers of readers are still reaching back to older series. That's very important. It goes back to that saying, our future entertainment is in the past. That's evidence here. You know, people are, once they're done with the series, once they're done with a book or waiting for the next book to come out, they're hungry to find another story to read into. And that's why I just don't get, modern day entertainment, these studios blame the fans for not seeing their stuff. But it's like, manga is proving them otherwise. I just don't get it. Make good stories, the people will pay for good stories. All right, so here's kind of the list here. So My Hero Academia, Chainsaw Man, Jujutsu Kaisen, Demon Slayer. See, now this is interesting. Again, it goes back to what that statement was saying. Attack on Titan Volume 1. Tokyo Ghoul Volume 1. Look at this. All of these are manga. And you can see where just the popularity is. Once people are done with Demon Slayer, they're going to these other manga stories. And it's crazy. And, manga is going to be a big part of my channel, too. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it yet, but I want to do manga review for you guys. I'm probably going to do the ones that know the stories that I know the most, which is probably going to be Sailor Moon, because that is a story that I know in and out. I'm rereading the mangas because kind of a plug for our wonderful Lethal Lightning and Lady Gravemaster are doing a podcast on Sailor Moon. So I've been reading up on the manga to, just to refresh my memory. And here's the thing about it. When I cracked open Volume 1 of Sailor Moon manga, and as I read through it, it's getting me excited to read other stories again. And that is the power of manga. You get so immersed. You get so into the story. It's a great platform, great medium to read stuff on. Like I just bought the Alita. I always put an N instead of the L. Alita Battle Angel manga, and I'm loving it. I love the story already. It's gory. It's great. But yeah, I definitely want to do manga reviews for you guys. But that's going to be probably a couple months down the road. I still got to figure out the style of video that I want to do, or if I want to take into a live stream format and do a book discussion. But I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure how I want to proceed with that. But yeah, it does not surprise me. Top 20. Manga's fucking killing it. Absolutely killing it. And you look at some of these hot properties. Senshi, yeah, I don't care. Pokemon, definitely big fan of it. I don't know about Dogman. Demon Slayer, MTG, yeah. Yu-Gi-Oh, yeah, makes sense. My Hero Academia, Chainsaw Man, D&D, and then obviously Doom. For some hot properties over here. But yeah, manga. Definitely recommend it. There's just so many great stories out there. So many good stories. All right, so we gotta talk about the elephant in the room. gotta talk about the elephant in the room. So, a new movie came out. I don't even want to go to the main website. All right. So, as you guys know, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings came out. I was debating if I really wanted to go see this movie. But after some... My cat. What are you doing? My cat's knocking stuff over. I debated watching this movie. And for right now, I'm still at a no when it comes to watching this because I just don't want to support Disney right now. I don't want to support the practices that they're doing. I'm just not in the mood to support any of this. And when this movie came out, it's like I went to my local movie theater. This is a hop-in Saturday in California. I went to my movie theater today just to see if there was a crowd. Just to see if there was lines, just to see if there's people buying snacks, to see if there's any sort of excitement for this movie. I should have taken pictures. I really should have. I'll do it for the next time. But there was no one at the movie theaters, and this is inside of a mall. There was no one in line, nobody at the ticket theater or the ticket booth, and there was no one at the concession stand, and this is like prime time hour at my local movie theater. It was nuts to say the least, because like I would think that there would be enough normies to at least see one family there buying tickets. There was no one there. It was strange. And it's like this mall was packed full of people. There were people at the food court. There were people there was a crowd at the Victoria's Secret. There were people at, the collectible store that I go to buy all my Sailor Moon merch. But there was no one at the movie theater. And it's like, it was quite compelling. And it really painted the picture that, modern day Hollywood is not getting, I would say, even to the normies. Like, I would consider myself a normie. And it's like, I would look at the theater to see if, the normal crowd was there. And there just wasn't. I was quite surprised. So it's like, I don't think this movie's going to do well. I mean, yeah, it's just a sample size of one theater, my local theater. So obviously there's bias, there's all sorts of stuff when it comes to that statement. But it's really interesting to see that, movie theaters are just, Hollywood in itself is not bringing that crowd into the theaters. And it's like, I just wondered to myself is that, all these, what I call them frontline content creators that are fighting the good fight for escapism, it looks like all of their messages are getting through. And it's like people are actually shifting where they get, not only are we seeing a shift in where we get our entertainment, but I think we're also starting to see a shift in where we get our information from. I would even argue that we're getting our entertainment from the same place we're getting our information from, which is weird to say the least. That's like saying that we get our entertainment from CNN News, from Fox News, from MSNBC. It is quite interesting to see the culture shift that we're going to. That our entertainment is going from a physical, going to the theater, seeing the movie, eating popcorn, to the digital frontier of YouTube and streaming. And that was definitely something that resonated with me when I looked at my local movie theater. It was quite interesting. And it's like, even today, I went to my local bookstore. Guess what section was the most popular section in the bookstore? It wasn't the movie adaptation section, it wasn't the horror, it wasn't the sci-fi. It was obviously the manga section. The manga section had the most people trying to find new books. And I'm seeing children and their parents and their families. Now, maybe some of them were a little bit too young for some of the manga they were reading, but it's like children were getting into manga. The parents are getting into manga too. My generation, the millennials, are getting into manga. I had to wait about 5-10 minutes just to get into the manga section because there was a lot of kids just reading books. And there was one little child that knew what Beastars was. And it's like, I overheard that this child was looking at the Beastar manga, which I may still get, and she referenced Netflix. She knew Beastars from Netflix. That is the next generation. That is a generation that, Hollywood should be, trying to get to. But yet manga is getting to them first. And that's something that I think is failing right now in the current modern day entertainment business. The next generation is not going to be there. And as millennials, because I'm a millennial myself, we've already started to go to manga. And now we're starting to share that with our children. Just like how the Gen X generation and I think it was Gen X before millennials. I can't remember. But just like how they were showing their favorite shows to the millennials, Star Trek, Star Wars. But it's like with these franchises that the Gen Xers grew up with, as they're slowly starting to get destroyed, we're shifting. We're changing. And that's the one thing that Hollywood's not doing, is that they are not changing to the times that's happening in their own backyard. Like, I'm like 4 hours away from Hollywood. And literally, you have families, parents who are reading manga, who are sharing those stories with their children. You have children who know about Netflix stories and animes. But is any one of them going to go to see Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings? Fuck no. Absolutely not. And it's like, I talk with my coworkers, and it's like, what do you think they're talking about? They're talking about manga. They're talking about things on Discord. These communities, these fandoms, they're going to Discord. Hollywood's not doing anything to advertise and such. They're trying to gain likes and followers on Twitter, thinking that that's where the money is. You got to change with the times. If you don't, you're just going to fade away into oblivion. And that's where the fandoms, where are the fandoms? They're on Discord channels because people can connect better. They can talk better. They're in these libraries of the manga section. I mean, you look at Barnes & Noble, and I know there's been plenty of other content creators out there that have been talking about Barnes & Noble is a good staple point. You look at the sections of comics and all these other sections, and then you slowly start to see how manga is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I've been noticing that too. I've been slowly, seeing how big can they go. And I'm a huge advocate for that now. It took me a while. It took my former stepdaughter to get me into it. And I'm starting to see now just how rich manga is with the culture and the graphics and the characters. It is just so nice. And it's like, we're getting a whole bunch of books. And that's the other thing about Hollywood is that, they want to expand this universe, but they can only do it like once every 6 months. And they're trying to do it on these multi-million-dollar budgets. And now they want to do a little sprinkling of wokeism and political agendas and all this other crap. Whereas manga can, shit out good stories in almost once a month and so forth. And they're great. They're great stories. And then they try to, and it's like they're trying to appeal to the next generation. But the problem is that when they try to adapt these manga stories, they do it in such a hideous way that they're just going to turn off the next generation. And I think it's just too late. By the time they realize it, it's going to be too late. Because good old Mother Time, it's vicious. If they don't change the times, they're going to be swept away. And it's like, I look at this movie and it's like, where's Marvel going? Phase 4 just looks total and utterly shit. I look at the trailers and it's like, okay, this is just not for me. And I was a little bit slow to the whole pandering to a certain country, aka China. And it wasn't until I woke up to Transformers, when Transformers was kind of filmed in Hong Kong and a lot of China-related cities, is when I start to notice, like, wait a minute, we're seeing a lot of shots done in China now. I remember the first Transformers movie, and the first few movies, there was a lot of U.S. scenes. You got to see, Chicago, you got to see L.A., New York, all these other places. And it's like, when I saw Transformers, like, I can go to these locations and say, oh, this is where they filmed, that battle scene in Transformers and so forth, because it's within the U.S. But now we're getting so much focused on China that they're starting to do a lot of landmark. And now, again, this is 100%. I understand that this is a 100% biased opinion here because I'm in the U.S. So, yeah, I agree. This is biased. But I have no way to connect with a movie or a story because now they're going to all these other different locations, particularly in China, that, I'm never going to go to China. So, and it feels like this movie is a pondering to China. So why would I want to go see this? Whereas, in the first Avengers movie, it was still CGI a little bit. But at least I can go to the city that was filmed in New York. Again, this is another personal observation. There is bias when it comes to that. Definitely self-focused argument. But taking all that aside, the trailers just didn't bring me into the story. They didn't sell me on this character. Because I grew up in an era, especially if they were trying to sell it as a kung fu movie, it's like, this just looks, we've gotten so much into the animation, into CGI, that it doesn't feel real kung fu. It doesn't feel like they're actually fighting. And it's like, I grew up in an era and a generation where we had great kung fu fighting, especially from my favorite actor, Jackie Chan. We had Rush Hour 1, 2, and I think they came out with a third one. I think it was just Rush Hour 1 and 2. And then all the other, I can't list the film. I am not a movie nut. I am definitely more of an anime manga. That's usually my specialties and what I'm going to be building up my specialties for. But I grew up in an era where there was a lot of great movies already. And trust me, I'm going to find those movies and I'm going to watch them. Because again, it goes back to that statement of our future entertainment is in the past. Until Hollywood changes their path here. But these trailers just didn't want me to see it. If anything, I would want to go see it to see how freaking bad it is. And it's like, I don't want to spend $15, $16, $20 on a movie that I only want to see it to see for how shitty it is. I don't want to do that. I want to go into a movie theater knowing that the trailer sold me and I will at least get some sort of value for my money. You know, if you guys follow me on Twitter, it always comes down to two things for me. If you don't like what something is happening, speak up on it. If you don't like what's going on, vote on it. Technically three things. And if you don't like what something's going on, don't pay for it. So don't watch it, go vote, and don't support it financially. You know, if you don't like what's going on with these movies, don't watch it. Don't pay for it. You know, if you don't like where a certain... Again, I don't want to go political here. But if you don't like what's going on with the country, go vote. Vote change. You know, take part in what is constitutionally your right. Study up on the Constitution. So yeah, that's my rant about this Legend of Ten Rings. I will probably eventually see it through other means eventually in the future, but I don't want to dedicate time nor money to it. There are plenty of other great YouTube channels that will go into much more bigger detail in this, that again are frontline fighters when it comes to escapism. But yeah, that's kind of it. And it's like the same is going to be for the internals. The same can be said for the internals. I am definitely one for sci-fi, especially when it comes to the biggest draw for me when it comes to sci-fi is spaceships. I am gullible for spaceships. And one of the problems that we're starting to see with a lot of sci-fi is that, you know, we're rehashing or getting simple in spaceship designs. And we're rehashing old things. Rise of Skywalker, the biggest thing that disappointed me about the Rise of Skywalker was that there was no introduction of new starships. Yeah, we had some regurgitated designs, like the TIE Fighter basically was a triangle TIE Fighter. We had basically a Star Destroyer that has a weak dick as a freaking weapon. And it's just... it just disappoints me that we've got all these great people who create concept arts, but they never implement them because they want to do it for the sake of member berries. I just don't get it. And it's like when I look at the internals here, when I was watching the trailer, their ship was a fucking flying piece of triangle cheese, whatever you want to call it. It reminds me of the Green Bay Packers cheese head thing that they wear for the fans. And even that is better than the freaking design in the Eternals trailer. I just don't get it. I just don't understand why we want to go simplistic. Why we want to copy from things in the past. If I want something from the past, I will go to that thing in the past to watch it. I don't know. It's crazy to say the least. So when they introduced that triangle spaceship thing, it's like I was so turned off. And it's like their latest trailer. It's like, great. That power is being used by Superman. That's a Superman power. Why would I want to see this guy in Marvel that's a Superman? I don't get it. It's like, oh, beams coming out of the eyes. That's Superman. I'm basically going to call it knockoff Superman. But yeah, I'm not connected to the Eternals. I'm not going to watch the Eternals. I have no care in the world for this movie. So that leads me to what's going to be my next movie I'm going to watch in theaters. So the one that I'm going to pay for is going to be Spider-Man. There's actually two movies that I'm going to watch coming up. I'm going to watch Spider-Man No Way Home because I want to see if I'm right when it comes to the trailer. Now, I definitely had a what I would call an icy take is the equivalent of a hot take. I know, kind of ironic. But in my icy take video, I said that who are the villains in this new Spider-Man movie? Now, there was a comment made that it's the Green Goblin. The Green Goblin is the main villain of all the villains. Well, we have to back it up here and figure out, well, why the heck would the Green Goblin be the main villain? It's because, we had Doctor Strange and Spider-Man open the multiverse. Now, people are saying that that's not the real Doctor Strange. It's Mysterio. That one I buy a little bit more. Because Doctor Strange doesn't feel like Doctor Strange in that trailer. But I'm just curious to see where they take it. Because, like I said, and I still stand by what I said, I feel like Spider-Man, and in particular Doctor Strange, are the villains in this one. So I don't know. But I'll definitely want to go see that because of member berries. That's the only reason why. I'll be 100% honest. I want to see Doc Ock on the screen again. Because when I saw Spider-Man 2 in theaters, oh man, it was one of the best movies I ever saw in theater. Let me rephrase. One of the best superhero movies I've seen in theaters. There's been some other good movies that I've watched. So yeah, I have no care in the world when it comes to the Internals. And Spider-Man, I just want to see how that story goes with the multiverse. But it's like, so I used to be a big fan of superheroes, the superhero movies. I started with Iron Man, in theaters, and that was wonderful to see. And then I eventually saw the other ones. I stopped. So I think the one thing that I caught on to Marvel was that I saw Infinity War, and it's like I wanted to see where they were going to go from it. And so Captain Marvel was the next one. And then the one thing that I noticed with Captain Marvel, the trailers I think gave away too much in what it was going to do, at least for me, because they were going to give the backstory of Captain Marvel. And the minute that I saw that trailer on basically what I felt was the backstory of Captain Marvel, I said, no, I don't want another backstory movie. I want a movie that's going to continue on the story from Infinity War post-snap. So I bowed out of Captain Marvel. That was actually the first movie that I didn't see. And my hunch and my suspicions of that movie was correct. I am glad I didn't see it. It's one movie I will never want to see. Because, again, it was a character I didn't know nothing about. And I just didn't want another fucking backstory. I wanted to see the characters that they built up that I grew up with, and to see where the story arcs were going to go. Because they left a big cliffhanger with Infinity War. Half the people got snapped. So I wanted to see how they were ended. And Captain Marvel, no. It was just going to be a backstory character. And then Endgame came out, and then I think that's when I stopped, is at Endgame. Not the greatest movie, Endgame, but it felt like for me that Endgame finished the MCU for me. I tried to get into WandaVision. I did watch WandaVision all the way through. And that last episode just left me, it's like, okay. Because now I was more informed of the wokeness and all the little things behind the scenes. So it's like, it was really the first series / MCU item that I really focused and honed in on to what's the agenda behind the scenes. And that's when I really opened up my eyes to everything. And basically the last episode was like, yeah, no, this was a shitty series. I watched the first episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and I got through like 30 minutes of it, and it made me fucking mad. And I was like, nope, I'm done. I can't do these shows anymore. And it's like I didn't care for Loki. I was concerned about it from the beginning, and everything came true about it, and I'm glad I didn't watch it. But again, it's all about escapism, and it's like Falcon and the Winter Soldier, that first episode, especially when they were in that bang scene about getting alone, and how I can't remember his name. But they were trying. It was in that scene that they were trying to get a loan from a fucking bank, and the guy gets denied. It's like, do you realize, me personally, how many times I've been in that exact situation and felt like shit because trying to get a loan sucks, either for a car or a mortgage or just a loan to pay off something that happened. When that happened, I was furious because I wanted to watch something to help me escape, not to remind me of all the bullshit that's happened in my past. And that triggered me. It triggered the absolute fuck out of me when that scene popped up. And I turned it off. I was done. It's like, this is a superhero movie. I want to escape. And now you are just bringing real life things into it. I understand you want to get a message out, but I pay you to help me escape from those things. And it pissed me off. It pissed me off a lot. And it triggered me beyond belief. So it's like, yeah, I'm done with this show. And that's why it's like, ever since I turned it off and turned away from the MCU, I have been having a negative just cognitive feeling towards the MCU. So I can't look at, I can't look at the 10 Rings the same way. I can't look at the Eternals the same way. I can't look at Spider-Man the same way because, me turning off from Falcon and Winter Soldier left such an imprint. And it's like, what do you think I'm going to go for my escapism? Easy. I went to YouTube. I went to Twitch. I went to manga. Call it safe spaces. I don't care. I call it escapism. But yeah, sorry. I didn't mean to rant that much, but Falcon and Winter Soldier in the MCU has been pissing me off. A lot. And that's why I go to these other channels. And it's like, Gary from Neurotic, hail to them. With Friday Night Tides, those shows. It's like, Gary said it best. We are going to be each other's entertainment. And it took me a while to really find my voice as well. Because I wanted to try something like that. It's just, I wasn't sure how to do it. And it took me several years to figure it out. And that's why I create this construct. That's why I have so many different channels, because I am the type of person that I am the jack of all trades, master of none. And I have many hobbies. Many, many hobbies. I collect many, many different things. And it's like, I want to have a voice. I want to find my voice. And I'm still struggling to find it. But as I do these podcasts, as I do these videos for you guys, it's just a test to see where I can find the voice. That's why it's a journey. It's literally a journey to see where it's going to go. But I'm excited for this journey. And I can't wait to share it with you guys. Now that I'm properly ready, I have my equipment, I have my studio. Now I just got to go live. Got to press the live button. And that goes out for anyone else who's going to watch this video in the future. If you're struggling to find your voice, look at me. I'm doing it now. I'm struggling to find my voice. I suck at the English language. I suck at speaking. At the end of the day, you just got to press go and see where it goes. So yeah. That is in the Eternals. I'm definitely looking forward to Spider-Man. And another movie I am excited for. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at another movie. I also did a video on this movie. Okie dokie. Let's. Okay. So Lionsgate. Lionsgate's coming out with another movie called Moonfall. Now this looks really, really good. Well, good in a cheesy way. So as I mentioned in my previous video, on my Icey Take video, I am a sucker when it comes to end of the world, doomsday, countdown clock type of movie. So I love The Day After Tomorrow. I love 2012. What was it? The day we said that one. Deep Impact. What's the other one? Armageddon. So those end of the world disaster movies, I'm all about them. They're cheesy. They've got just a lot of destruction, a lot of unrealistic things, and it's like that's kind of what I like. You know, everyone's got that dark side of the mind type of intelligence. That's where my dark side of the mind is. Like, how can we kill humanity this week? But obviously in the movie form. So when I saw Moonfall, it's like, yes, we're finally getting another cheesy, kind of low budget type of movie. I don't want to say low budget, but it just looks interesting. It's got aliens. It definitely looks like it's got some sort of alien aspect to it, which is, I'm not big into the alien predator type of movies. But this one has me intrigued enough to go watch it. But it looks like the budget here is $140 million. Looks like release date. Oh, they pushed it back. I thought it was coming out in December, but it says February 2022. Okay, I think it said 2022 in theater. So it'll be Spider-Man, then Moonfall is what I'll be watching. But we got Halle Berry, Patrick Wilson, John Brady, Michael Pena, Charlie Plummer, Kelly Yu, Donald Sutherland, Emmy, I have no idea. Carolina Bartzik, Maximum Roy. Michael Pena. Oh, Pena, yeah, okay. Cool. Be interesting to see. But yeah, I'm definitely excited for this movie. So the premise behind it looks like there's some aliens that have a structure inside of the moon, and now the moon is getting ready to crash upon Earth. So that looks like the premise of the movie, which it sounds corny, and I'm excited for it. So I cannot wait to go see that. Trying to think of what other movies we got coming up here. So let's take a look at movies, upcoming movies, since we're on the subject. Coming movies. Oh yeah, we've also got. Let's see. Let's go to IMDb. Okay. All right. So this is from IMDb for the upcoming movies. Malignant, which I have no idea what that is. Looks like a murder mystery movie, which I don't care about. The Card Counter, I have no idea what that is. Don't care. Queen Pens, no idea. The Alpinist, meh. Small Engine Repair. Bad Candy. Time is Up. Cry Macho. Blue Bea. The Eyes of Tammy Faye. Prisoners of the Ghostland. Lady of Menor. The Nowhere Inn, Bestsellers, I'm Your Man, Cop Shop. I don't even know half of these. Yeah. I couldn't tell you. And that's the coming soon. These are the in theaters now. I can't believe they made a freaking Karen movie. Like, really? WTF. WT and the F. I'm thinking I'm gonna go watch Oh, what is it? Dune. I think Dune's another one that's got me intrigued. But again, it's an adaptation, so I'm concerned. I don't know. I just do not know. But yeah, again, it goes back to what I said. It's like we're hungry for stories. We're hungry for characters. We're just good for escapism right now. And it's just movies is just I don't know. Modern day movies just suck. Modern movies sucks so much. Okay, let's see. Trying to think if there's anything else I want to talk about. Da, da, da. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else I want to talk about. We've been almost hitting that 1 hour mark, which I think is a good length for these podcasts. I'm gonna try to keep doing these podcasts every Saturday night. I know it's gonna be late for everyone else to watch it. I know it's not an ideal time slot, but it's really the only time slot I have available, which will be it's probably gonna be 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock Western Pacific time. So I know it's not great for everyone. I'll try to find a better time in the future, but my schedule is just so busy. I've been debating what type of videos I've been doing because I've got 3 channels that I'm essentially kind of uploading to. And again, it all comes down to what do I feel like producing today? So I don't have a set schedule. Really, this podcast. So I do this podcast on my model railroading channel, and I do the podcast on this channel. And that's probably the only thing that's going to stay consistent at a dedicated time slot. Everything else is just, do I have time to do this? What do I feel like making today? Because I want to make videos for you guys and content for you guys that I feel passionate about whenever I feel like it. It's like I don't want to make a video for the sake of making a video to try to get that escapism content out there when I'm not going to put my whole effort into it, or I want to put a video out there so I learn the techniques to make the video better from my previous video. That's all I want to do is I want to do better than my last video. What can I do things differently? What equipment can I use differently? How do I want to present the information differently? So I'm just competing against myself. And again, this technique, special shout out to Gary Neurotic. Go follow his channel. It is awesome. It's my favorite channel right now. It's becoming my channel of the year, really. Followed by Hill versus B-Face. Those 2 channels are just fucking top notch. But it's like just trying to do better than the previous video. And sometimes in order to do that, it just requires me to take more time on it. I'll have to dedicate more, more resource, more time, more effort into it as I figure things out. Because most of my videos are 100% impromptu. I don't script anything. I don't rehearse. I'm slowly getting into editing, especially on my other 2 channels. When it comes to my collectibles channel and my model railroading channel, I'm putting a lot more effort into editing. This channel, it's more of, okay, let's just talk. What's on my mind this week? What can I talk about that just came out today? And talking about things that I can't really necessarily put on to my other 2 channels. So again, it's a constant experimental process. It's a laboratory trying to figure things out. And just recently, I announced on Twitter that I originally had a gaming channel on YouTube. It's still going to be there, but it's going to morph into something for the future. It's probably going to be like the biggest craze right now is clips. And so the gaming channel on YouTube may turn into a clips channel, but that's more for in the future. my gaming content is going to shift over to my Twitch channel. It's going to be twitch.com/Rayron_VR, because Rayron_VR was taken already. So it's a _VR. And those will be another consistent thing. I'm going to be doing gaming streams on Sundays. I got one of my best friends that we just basically play all sorts of video games. From Star Wars The Old Republic, which is probably what we're going to be doing tomorrow. You're going to see how bad this Ice Dragon is when it comes to Fortnite, because I am terrible at Fortnite. But yeah, Sundays is going to be a dedicated day that I'm going to be streaming on Twitch. No set time, but definitely a set day. And I'm still trying to figure out the logistics behind it. That is the plan I have, though. So yeah, definitely on Sundays is going to be my primary day that I stream on over there and just play games and have fun. Because I am a gamer. I took a couple years break with the gaming, but I'm slowly getting back into it. There's some new games I'm trying. I used to play a lot of Rocket League. Rocket League was my go-to. That and Minecraft. Minecraft was fun too. So yeah, that is basically everything. You guys can follow me at rayronvr.com for all of my social media links, to my content, and to anything you want to know about me. I'm going to be adding a few more stuff to the website. But yeah, that's everything, guys. I have nothing else for you. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for being part of my Icey family/fandom. But that's all I have for this episode. I'll see you guys next week. Take it easy, y'all.